Alright, we're playing NBA Finals. Welcome to introduction by Michael Jordan. We'll be teaching you how to play basketball. I'm very glad, Michael, but I already know how to play. But I'm glad. With the help of gaming's wonderful skill, you'll be playing NBA Finals in no time. That's great to know, but can I just play the game? Did that go in? I can't tell. Yeah, I know where the basketballs are. I know how to pick up a basketball. See? Look at that. Ooh, dribble. I'll watch this. Ah, damn. Hold on. Ah, brick. Alright, I mean, it's good training, I guess. Well, I just airballed that one. Boom, splash. Alright, let's get some training. But anyways, yeah, we're going to be playing the NBA Finals in Roblox. Sorry if I didn't get straight to the point already. Waiting for a player to score. I didn't go in. Hold on, I'm trying to shoot this. Hold on. Ah. Oh, come on. Oh, that was Paul George right there. Ah, okay. Hold on, we'll be here a while. Oh, never mind. That was amazing. Even I, Michael Jordan, could have never done that on 19 tries. What are you talking about? Michael Jordan would do that on his first try. What? Okay, this training is... Okay. Yeah, I know how to dribble. I mean, it's nice animations, I'll give him that. Yeah, I know how to dunk. Oh, dunked. Press T. Yeah, I already dunked. Oh, my bad. Alright, can I play? Alright, thank you. Head over to the teleporter to begin your journey. Alright, here we go. Thanks, Michael, for the good intro, and thank you for helping me stretch out this video. Okay, well, I've been trying to load in this game, and unfortunately it's not letting me play, which is unfortunate, because I really wanted to play this game. And the animations look nice. I really wanted to play this game, but not enough players. Fortunately, this game's not popular, and it's dead. It's dead. You hear that, Luke Gabriel? You hear that? It's dead. Your game's dead. Alright, here we go. Finally, an NBA Finals game in Roblox that isn't a dead game. Yeah, alright, so... Sorry for non-proper intro, but yeah, we'll be playing the NBA Finals games in Roblox. So... fourth quarter just ended. But... yeah. So, 2022 NBA Finals is going to be Celtics and Warriors. Now, I'll go run through like this season. Now, and the playoffs. Now, the Celtics, they're underrated. They are very underrated. They fought hard. The Celtics are a very underrated team because through half of the season, most of the season actually, they were the 7th seed, and it was questionable if they were even going to make the playoffs. Until the trade deadline came up where they traded Dennis Schroeder and Josh Richardson for Daniel Tice and Derek White. And at first I thought those were bad trades. I thought Dennis Schroeder was the perfect fit for Boston. I felt like he was the perfect fit for Boston. Him on Houston, I couldn't really picture it. And Josh Richardson, I felt like he was doing good, and Tice has already played for the Celtics. I was like, what is he really gonna do? And I was completely wrong because they they did good. It ended up actually helping their team. They were questionable to make the playoffs to being one of the best teams in the East. They even managed to get number 1 in the East. They ended up at the end of the season getting number 2. Miami got number 1, and I'm a Heat fan myself, so I was pretty happy for that. But I was kind of scared when they were gonna play against them. But let's check out the playoffs now. First round, Miami played. Oh, well, you see that crossover, man? Oh, damn. Miami played the Atlanta Hawks, and I was like, I would have easily preferred Cleveland to play. I would have preferred Cleveland to play. I really wanted the Cleveland Cavaliers to make it to the playoffs, but unfortunately they didn't. They lost in the play-in tournament due to lots of injuries. And the Cavaliers team, I was like, yes, they're going to make it. They're going to make it to the playoffs without LeBron. They had a really nice team, a unique team. Ricky Rubio had his best season, but unfortunately the Cavs team got destroyed by injuries. First it was Colin Sexton, then Ricky Rubio had a season-ending injury, and then Jarrett Allen was not in the play-in tournaments. So that was pretty bad, and yeah, they ended up not making the playoffs and losing to Brooklyn and Atlanta in the play-in tournament. So that was unfortunate. So I already knew that. I thought a Cleveland versus Miami series would have been better because I knew the Hawks were going to lose against Miami. There was no way Atlanta was going to win this. Like, I know they went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, which was unexpected. But this was a team that they were the 5th seed in that year, which was surprising in its own. But come on, they barely made the play-in, so of course they were gonna lose, in my opinion. Only thing I was really pissed off about that series from Miami was that in Game 3 the Heat actually blew a 14-point lead in the 4th quarter. I was pissed off at that, because, you know, that gave the Hawks a chance to actually come back in the series. Because they were already up 2-0. Had they won that Game 3, I was like, okay, the series is over. No team's ever come back down 3-0. And they're an 8th seed team against a 1st seed team. I was like, there's no way the Hawks would come back. And then they gave them a chance. They gave them a chance by blowing the 14-point lead and letting Trae Young hit a game winner when Trae Young has been absolutely terrible in the series. Like, credit to Miami for locking them down, but jeez, man. And the refs didn't even call the foul a foul that was... Like, Jimmy got fouled after Trae Young hit that game winner. Like, his teammate literally, right after Trae Young, like the second after Trae Young shot one in, Hawks player fouled Jimmy Butler. But whatever. And then Jimmy took a 3-point shot for the win, which, like, what are you doing, man? I don't know what he was thinking taking that shot. He could have just drove, but yeah, it was a 1-point game, which is why I was upset he took the shot. So yeah, but then the Heat ended up winning the next 2 games, and yeah, I was fine with that. Boston went up against the Nets. I thought this was going to be a good series. I thought the Nets had a chance to win this. So, and I was like, the Lakers and the Nets were the favorites to go to the finals. And the Lakers didn't even make the play-in tournament, and the Nets got swept in the first round. But I thought this was going to be a good series. Because we watched Game 1. Game 1 was great. Alright, it ended up the Celtics winning on a buzzer beater. Nets would have won had, that play not happened, but whatever. That's Game 1, and then they lose Game 2 because the Nets blow a 17-point lead, and then the Nets lose Game 3 at home by 8, or 5. I don't even know. And then they lose game 4 at home. It was a close game though. So yeah, Nets got swept in the first round. It's crazy because I thought the Nets were going to be good, seeing how they played against Philadelphia after the trade deadline. You know, I was like, man, this is going to be a good series, but they ended up like not even winning a game, Bran. Not even ending up winning it. Shows if you get swept in the first round, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. You don't deserve to be in the playoffs if you get swept in the first round. You don't. Oh my god. How do you step out of bounds, man? Whatever. You don't deserve it. The Nets didn't deserve it. It showed that Cleveland deserved it. Cleveland deserved to be in the playoffs, because I know for a fact they would have won a game against Boston. Well, or against the Heat. They would have been playing the Heat. Actually, no. If the Cavs had beaten the Nets in the play-in tournament, they would have played against the Celtics, and they probably would have won a game, at least. I don't know if that's like, oh my god, the Cavs team had so much heart, man, and I love the Cleveland team, but I was so pissed off at the season-ending injuries, and the injuries before that at the beginning of the season. I was pissed because this Cavs, I really liked the Cavs team, but Heat go on to the second round. They beat Philadelphia. Sixers beat the Raptors. They were up 3-0. They got revenge finally, but they were up 3-0 and they almost blew it because Raptors ended up winning their next 2 games, and their third game was at home. But luckily, they did terrible in that last game. Lost by like 26 or something. I don't know. But yeah, Heat and Sixers. Embiid was injured for the first 2 games due to like a orbital fracture, I think. Something like that. He had like a fracture in his eye or something, or like next to his eye, on the outside of his eye. So yeah. Oh, but then the Sixers ended up tying it by winning the next 2 games. So yeah, but then the Heat won the next 2 games after that. Sixers probably would have came back had Danny Green not been injured. Because in Game 6, the Sixers were coming back down 20 in the fourth quarter, and they ended up losing by like 9 or 6. And it was a close game. Danny Green was injured though due to Joel Embiid's flopping. Danny Green got injured like Klay Thompson, like when he accidentally injured Klay Thompson in the finals. That's literally, it's like a ACL injury, I think it was. The Sixers lost, and so Celtics go on to the second round against Milwaukee. Milwaukee, who beat the Chicago Bulls, and Chicago, yeah, I didn't really have hope for them because Chicago was doing so good this season, but they were at the end of the season, they were like close to getting to the play-in tournament. So I was like, I don't know. Kind of got ruined their season due to COVID protocols and injuries. Lonzo was injured. Had a season-ending injury. Yeah, Lonzo had a season-ending injury. I think Kobe White was injured. Caruso was injured for a while. And so Milwaukee won in 5 games. DeRozan had an MVP season. I think he could have won it. He should have been nominated for MVP, but he wasn't. Joel Embiid. I'm surprised Jokic won MVP last year. I was surprised he won it this year. I thought Joel was gonna win it, but you know, maybe next year. Milwaukee and the Celtics play in the second round. Milwaukee's the defending champions. They won the finals last year, and they might win another one in a row. They might two-peat. They might repeat. So, Celtics lose game 1. They win game 2. They lose game 3. It was a close game. And Milwaukee, Celtics win game 4. Milwaukee wins game. Wait. Okay, so Milwaukee's up 3-2, right? They pull off a comeback at the end of the game. Giannis was clutch. He had a 3-pointer, and Bobby Portis was clutch too. He put back a missed free throw, and he had a game winner. So the Bucks were up 3-1. Celtics then win game 6 to stay in the series. Then game 7 goes by in Boston, and who's gonna win? And Boston eventually won in a blowout. They blew out the Milwaukee Bucks in game 7. So the Bucks are not. The Bucks, they're gone. They're done. So now it comes down to the Heat and Celtics. Now, before I go through that, let me talk about the West. Let me talk about the West. All right. Oh yeah. The West. Let's start with the Phoenix Suns. So they played the Pelicans in the first round. Pelicans, I wanted the team to make the playoffs. I wanted the Pelicans to make the playoffs. I thought they had a nice roster. Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum. Nice roster, man. Pretty cool roster. Jonas Valanciunas, who was shooting awesome this season. He was one of the best 3-point shooters this season. And he should have been in the 3-point contest. I don't know why he wasn't in it. Pelicans were good, and I didn't expect the Pelicans to win in the first round because the Phoenix Suns were the best seed. They were number 1. They had 64 wins in the regular season out of 82. So, I mean, they were 64-18. How are you gonna beat that? So, but the Pelicans did better than I expected. I mean, they tied the series up 2-2. And they almost forced a game 7. It was a close game. Yeah, granted the Phoenix Suns didn't have Booker, but the fact that the Pelicans even came that far, almost forcing a game 7 even with Devin Booker. But let's talk about the Warriors. Who did they play in the first round? Oh, just took his ankles, bro. Who did they play in the first round? Did they sweep anyone? I think they swept someone. Who did they sweep? West. Now, the Grizzlies faced off Minnesota in the first round. And Minnesota were pulling away with it. They were up 2-1. And then the Grizzlies, Minnesota kept blowing 26-point leads. They just, for 3 straight games, they blew 26-point leads, and including a John Morant game winner. And I wanted the Grizzlies to win it as much as I wanted Minnesota to make the playoffs. Grizzlies had an amazing season. Number 2, they did really well without their star player, and this team was really bad for years. They weren't good until since 2017. So I was pretty excited when the Grizzlies just out of nowhere became the 2nd seed, one of the best teams in the NBA, and I was happy. I was happy for that. So but and even in the regular season, Minnesota was talking trash and stuff like that. Even before the series, because they were talking trash in the series, but even before then, in the regular season, when John Morant had a knee injury, a Derrick Rose, almost it was a season-ending injury, or people thought it was gonna be a career-ending injury, but he still played, and then he airballed the game-tying 3 in overtime, and then Anthony Edwards was telling the crowd to cheer and kind of taunting. And so Grizzlies win in 6 games. They faced the Warriors in the second round. I forgot who the Warriors faced. Yeah, I don't know. But the Grizzlies faced the Warriors. Game 1, the first 2 games were close. Game 1 I saw live. Klay Thompson surprisingly missed 2 free throws. Uh, and it was a 2-point game. So Grizzlies ended up losing due to Ja Morant missing a layup badly. Didn't even hit the rim. It just hit the backboard, high off the backboard. And yeah, they lost by 2. And then the Grizzlies won game 2. And then I was like, alright, this is going to be a good series. But then the Grizzlies, in game 2, I think, is when Gary Payton II got injured, and it was debatable whether this was a dirty play by Dillon Brooks. I'm still debating on it because I've never seen Dillon Brooks be like a dirty player before, and I've never really thought anything of him other than he's just a good shooter, but I didn't really think anything of him. But keep seeing the replay trying to judge if this was a dirty play because it was a fast break layup. You should just let it go. But he was running full speed and he slaps Gary Payton across the head. But at time he didn't even jump. But I was like, oh, was he trying to swipe at the ball? Because it seemed like his hand just wasn't long enough to go for the ball. If his hand was just a bit longer, he would have gotten the ball. But, you know, couldn't tell because some people are saying he wasn't even looking at the ball. He just swiped for the head. It was a reckless play. And I was like, but in other angles, it kind of looked like he was trying. It looked like he was looking at the ball, and that's what he was trying to get. Dillon Brooks said that he was just going for the ball. It ended up being a flagrant 2 and a suspension. So the aftermath is that he hit Gary Payton across the head, and Gary Payton, which caused Gary Payton's body to turn, which made him try to land safely, and he stuck his arm out to try to, hurt his fall, but it ended up dislocating his elbow. He landed awkwardly on his elbow. So, yeah, Warriors go up 2-1. They eventually, in Game 3, Ja Morant was injured. Game 3, Ja Morant was injured, and apparently, Ja Morant blamed Jordan Poole for the injury because there's a video where Jordan Poole, he swipes the ball, but then Ja Morant gets the ball, and then Jordan Poole grabs at his knee. And I was like, okay, that has to be the reason he got injured. I know some people thought, oh, that was soft, but it seemed like his ankle turned as well when Jordan Poole grabbed his knee. I was like, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but it really just looked like Jordan Poole just grabbed at his knee. But, sometimes when I try to get the ball, it's far away and I try to reach it, and, it's just, my arm's just not long enough. But I don't get how your arm you mistake the ball for someone's knee. I don't get that. But I don't think that was the main cause of the injury. The main cause of the injury was the play before that, which was the Klay Thompson play, which isn't really talked about that much. Basically, Ja Morant was going up for a block on Klay Thompson's 3-point attempt. Klay Thompson pump faked it, and then their knees collided. And Ja Morant was seen limping afterwards, and it was way harder than the Jordan Poole play. Ja Morant, I think that's the main reason why he was injured and what caused the injury, and he was out for the rest of the series. Warriors eventually would go up 3-1. The game after Ja Morant got injured, it was a close game, but the Grizzlies, they couldn't pull away with it, and it was a close game too. So they were down 3-1, and I was like, oh, come on, man. The Grizzlies, man. I really wanted this team to succeed, but they're down 3-1, and they do win the next game, though. They dominated the next game. They went up as many as, I think, 52 points. I don't know. But they went up by a lot without Ja Morant, without their star player. And, that was pretty surprising. I mean, not for me. I'm surprised how much they blew them out by. I wasn't surprised that they won because, in my opinion, they're better without Ja. They had a win streak without Ja in the regular season when Ja was injured. So, but then Warriors pulled away in Game 6 and they won. So, So, on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Celtics in Miami. Now, Now this team, Miami and Boston, this game was mostly blowouts. Now, I was afraid of I'm a Heat fan myself. I was afraid of this. I was afraid because I was like, there's a chance the Celtics might win this, man. Because this team has been underrated. This team they've worked hard to get where they're at. They just worked hard. And the first game, Celtics blow a 13-point lead, and the Heat actually win Game 1. They come back down 13. Game 2, the Celtics blow them out at home, and then Game 3, the Heat go up 26, but nearly blow it due to Pritchard injuring Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler having knee inflammation caused by, I think, Pritchard, because Pritchard grabbed at his knee. Kind of like the Jordan Poole play, but it looked way more intentional. Some people say he was just trying to get up, like pull on Butler's like jersey maybe, or like shorts to get up, but I mean he just grabbed at his knee. So I don't know about that, but get blocked, man. Get blocked. See, he could just shoot it from there. Oh. But yeah, he'd go up 2-1, and then the Celtics win the next game in a blowout, and then the Celtics win another game in a blowout. Blow them out twice in a row. They go up 3-2, and then Miami in Game 6, they end up winning in a close game. Jimmy Butler carrying them once again, man. Jimmy Butler's been great in the whole playoffs. He's been great. He's been great in the whole playoffs. So, I mean, it was great. They won. It was a close game. Almost gave me a heart attack, but, fine. They forced a Game 7. And Game 7 was crazy. I was on vacation yesterday, so I couldn't watch it on, I was visiting my grandma, so I couldn't watch it on my grandma's TV. So I had my dad FaceTime, because he was home. So I had him FaceTime me each quarter so I could watch it. And we did. The Celtics were up 15 in the first quarter. And the second quarter, and I think the third quarter as well. They ended up getting a 15-point lead. That's the thing with the Celtics. They're consistent with keeping their leads. They can score points easily, just like that. Like, whenever the Heat have cut it down to 3, they immediately get it to 9 points just on 2 straight possessions, which is insane, because that's just crazy. It's crazy. So, in Game 7, the Heat actually do come back from the 15-point deficit. Lowry was not really doing well, but the only thing I will say that he's good at is that he's good at drawing fouls, charges, to be more specific, charging offensive fouls. He's good at drawing those, because that's all he was good at mostly. He didn't really do anything in the series. So Tyler Hero was out for a few games due to a groin injury. I think he was out for 3 games or something. Yeah, 3 games. And Bam kind of disappeared in the series. He only had 1 good game, and then for the rest of the series, he just kind of disappeared. He disappeared. Jimmy Butler been great. He's been great. He's been great that series. He's been good. He's been good. Let's see. In Game 7, Lowry missed 2 free throws. So there was 2 controversial calls. There's a controversial call that happened, which was Max Strus apparently stepping out of bounds, and he didn't. I mean, look at it this way. So the Celtics had already wasted their challenge, so they can't. So when they thought that Strus stepped out of bounds, they can't challenge the call to be reviewed or anything, because they had already used their challenge. So, I mean, they can't do anything. So Strus's 3-pointer counts. But then out of nowhere, 3 minutes later, like a few more plays go by, and then they decide to just review it, and then just say that it was just out of bounds. It was just out of bounds, and they just call it out of bounds. And on the replay, it's a very close, but I don't think he stepped out. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Heat fan. I just don't think he stepped out, because it seemed like his heel was up. His heel was up. You can see his shadow. You can see his shadow like below his foot. So I mean, I don't think it was out of bounds. And some people are like, oh, but he traveled on the play anyways. First of all, it was a gather step. It was a gather step. So that first step he didn't count. After he dribbled the ball, doesn't count. According to the rules, that's a gather step. And he took 2 more steps afterwards. So that is 2 steps. There's 2 steps. And yeah, that was 2 steps. So I didn't, and it was like a James Harden step back, and James Harden did it all the time, and he didn't call it. I'm not saying that that's like not a reason to call it, but James Harden got away with it for so long. It's like his signature move, and yeah. So the Heat eventually come back, and they cut it down in the 4th quarter, and it seemed like Celtics were gonna win. They were up 11, and they were up 11 with like a minute to go, and then the Heat cut it down lots of times due to the Celtics missing their shots. But yeah, Celtics missed their shots, and the Heat cut it down, and eventually it's a 5-point game, and with like 25 seconds left. So I was like, oh crap, this is like Ray Allen. This is like the Ray Allen situation, where they're down 5 and they can come back to well, in that case they forced a game 7, but they could tie it or win it on a game 7. So Max Strus actually hits a 3-pointer to make it a 2-point game with a few seconds left. The next shot, they didn't have to foul. There's like 42 seconds left or something like that. So Boston takes a shot, they miss it, and it's a fast break, and Miami has a chance to either tie it or win it. And yeah, they eventually Jimmy pulls up for 3. It was a wide open shot, unexpected, and he misses it. I wasn't mad at the shot, because I mean, honestly, yeah, it wasn't a bad shot. It wasn't a bad shot. The only thing I am mad at is that how bad he missed it. It was an in and out back rim. He just missed it. So it was that's the only thing I was mad for. The shot, I wasn't mad at the shot. So yeah, Celtics ended up winning. Kyle Lowry missed his first 2 free throws in that, and if he had made them, it would have been a tie game. But that could just be a stretch. The game could have gone differently. That could just be a stretch of me trying to blame someone, or basically all that. Oh, you see that pump fake, bro? Ah, got blocked. Come on. Come on. But what was that? Yeah, the 3-point, the Max Strus play, it could have made it a 1. If they hadn't overturned the call, they shouldn't have even reviewed it in the first place, because the Celtics wasted their challenge, and he wasn't out of bounds anyways. How do you review that and come to the conclusion that he was out of bounds? He wasn't. So I mean, yeah. So they overturned it. It would have been a 1-point game had they overturned it, and the game could have gone by differently. Jimmy Butler probably wouldn't have taken the 3-pointer. He could have drove down or waited to get the final shot, but or maybe he would have just take the 3 because he did that in Atlanta in Game 3. But that's like a different case. This was a Game 7, so who knows if he would have done the same thing he did in Atlanta in Game 3. But I don't know. The Heat eventually end up losing, which sucks because I wanted it to be Heat versus Warriors. And yeah, everyone was frustrated afterwards. Well, it was all smiles, but Haslam was pissed. He wanted the team to make it. So yeah, that's unfortunate. The Heat lose by 4 points. And yeah, so let's talk about the Phoenix Suns in the second round. Cause jeez, what turn of events? They face the Dallas Mavericks in the second round. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Utah Jazz. The Jazz could have forced a Game 7, but on a wide open shot by Bogdanovich, but Bogdanovich missed the wide open shot, and that's. I've been thinking this for so long that the Utah Jazz are overrated because they do so well in the regular season, but then they just don't show up in the playoffs. Farthest they get is the second round. That is about it. It's just like the 76ers. Farthest the Utah Jazz get, second round of the playoffs. That's about it. Oh, 3 points. That's about it. Yeah, they get far. Like, they blew a 3-1 lead in the bubble. They lost in the second round to the Clippers last year. They were up 2-0, but then they lost the rest of their games. So I mean, so that was disappointing. And they blew a 25-point lead in Game 6 when they could have forced a Game 7. So that was pretty bad. And then they blow a 25-point lead against the Clippers in the regular season as well. Like, bro, how do you do that? They also blew a 25-point lead to the Thunder. So, in the playoffs too, which is... They have a problem with keeping a 25-point lead, basically. And then they lose to the first round against the Mavericks. And, like... I just don't think they're a good... They're just an overrated team, in my opinion. But... yeah. The Phoenix Suns play the Dallas Mavericks. The first 2 games, Phoenix is up 2-0. They're trash talking. So, I mean, nothing new there. And Dallas ties the game. I knew this was going to happen. I predicted that the Suns were going to win in 6 games. Because Suns, 64 wins. And Dallas Mavericks, I didn't really expect them to get that far. You know, what I'm about to say afterwards. But Mavericks tied the game 2-0. I saw, so it's tied 2-2. So, yeah, I saw that coming. And then the Phoenix Suns end up winning the next game, I think. And then the Mavericks win the next game. Chris Paul fouled out. Oh my god, I dunked from really far away. 69 point. Hey, that is a great score to end off on. Oh, did that count? Oh no, I guess it didn't. But yeah, so it's a Game 7, and Game 7 was not what I don't think anyone expected what happened in Game 7. The Mavericks destroyed the Phoenix Suns. They blew them out. Man. Alright, they just destroyed them. It was crazy. They led as many as 46. The Phoenix Suns scored 27 points in the first half. In the first 2 quarters, they only scored 27 points in total. That is atrocious, man. Oh god, that is terrible. But yeah, they lost. The Mavericks go on to the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors. So yeah, Mavericks and Warriors. I do believe that the Phoenix Suns would have been a better series. Phoenix versus Golden State, I feel like the Phoenix Suns would have given the Warriors problems, but like, I mean, they just had a really bad game against the Mavericks, and that's just how it. Oh boy, and the Suns might fall apart after this because they might not give they're not giving Ayton an extension, a max contract. Does he deserve one? I don't know. But yeah, Mavericks. So the Mavericks and Warriors. It was kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, props to the Mavericks for making it that far. Dinwiddie was great. Luka was great against mostly he was good. Andrew Wiggins, man, holy crap, this was like his best season. He was an All-Star this season. His first All-Star game. He was great. Great. I was happy for Wiggins. I've always think he was good. I feel like he was bad for like one season. One season he wasn't good, but then like he was alright the other seasons. Minnesota, he was fine in Minnesota. In Golden State, he really did well. He did really good in Golden State, and he's doing very well right now. That poster on Luka was crazy. So the Warriors end up winning Game 1. In Game 2, it seems like the Mavericks were going to win because they were up 19, and they end up blowing the lead and losing that game. And then Game 3 arrives, and yeah, the Warriors win. So they are up 3-0. No team has ever come back down 3-0 before. So I was like, okay, the series is over. It's over. There's no way the Mavericks come back against the Warriors 3-0. I know the Warriors have blown a 3-1 lead, but they can't blow a 3-0 lead. So, and eventually, Game 4, they're looking for a sweep. It would have been 2-2 had the Mavericks not blown a 17-point lead against the Warriors, or was it a 19-point lead? I don't know, but they blew a lead basically, and it could have been a tied series. It would have been better had they not blown the lead, but unfortunately they did. So Game 4 happens, and it's a blowout. It looks like it's gonna be a blowout. The Mavericks have been shooting lights out from the from three-pointers, from the first quarter to the second quarter. In the fourth quarter, Mavericks are up 29. Alright, and then the Warriors, I don't know, their bench, now, they don't even have their star players on the court, but their bench is leading a comeback. They're making a run. It was crazy. No team has come back down that much in a fourth quarter. I've never seen a 29-point comeback in the fourth quarter. And they cut it down to 8. That's the lowest they cut it down to, was 8. So, man, that was shocking. And eventually they make their starters. They bring back the starters, which was a mistake because the Mavericks ended up winning that game, but then the Mavericks lose the next game. The Warriors head to the finals. And that's basically where we're at now. So, yeah, thank you for listening to my boring recap. So, yeah, it's going to be Celtics and Warriors. This was like a finals I thought was going to happen like in 2019 after the Warriors beat the Rockets in the Western Conference Final. In 2018, yeah, after the Warriors beat the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals. I would have thought that the Celtics were going to beat Cleveland in Game 7, and that this was going to be Celtics and Warriors. This is something I would have predicted. But I feel like injuries and like it ruins the series so much. Dirty players like the Morris brothers, like that. Like in 2017, I wish that it would have been Spurs versus Bulls. I think the Spurs would have won in 6 games, but I really wanted Bulls and Spurs to play that game, and they didn't. Ooh, That was close. Pulled a logo shot. But yeah, it's because Kawhi got injured against the Warriors in Game 1. They were up 25. Kawhi goes down after an ankle injury, and it ends up, yeah, he's not playing the whole series. And then the Spurs blow up that 25-point lead. In Game 1, they lose Game 1, and then they lose the rest of the games in blowouts. And I feel like had Kawhi not been injured, they probably would have. It would have been the other way around. The Warriors would have gotten swept by the Spurs, and the Spurs would have gone to the finals. And the Bulls lost against the Celtics in the first round, and I feel like the Bulls would have won in 6 games against the Celtics, because the Celtics lost their first 2 home games against an 8th seed Chicago Bulls team. And this team was nice, Chicago. I think Miami deserved to go to the playoffs more, judging that they were 11-30 at the beginning of the season. But it was how do you miss that catch, bro? It was a nice series. It seemed like I thought they were gonna win this, but Rondo then goes down. He's out for the rest of the series with a thumb injury. So that just tore their hope, and the Bulls ended up losing their last 4 games, the rest of the games. So, yeah, that was unfortunate. So injuries really just get in the way of things when it comes to the playoffs. And in 2018, I wanted it to be Houston versus Boston. 2018, I feel like the Rockets would have won in 5 games. I don't know why, because the Celtics were just better than them in the regular season. But did he just deflect that? I didn't throw it that way. That was a deflection. I swear. That ball deflected, man. But yeah, what was I saying? Something about, I don't know. Yeah, injuries. I want it to be Houston and Boston in 2018, the finals. But it didn't. The Rockets ended up losing Chris Paul, which was a big part. And the Rockets pulled one of the biggest chokes I've ever seen in a Game 7. And Game 6. They were up by like 16 in Game 6. And then they lost in a blowout. And Game 7, they missed 27 straight 3-pointers. And they lost Chris Paul on an injury at the end of Game 5. Or was it Game 6? Game 5. It was Game 5, I think. Yeah, Game 5. Game 5, I think. I don't know. But yeah, man, that was fortunate, man. Oh, that should have gone in. And then comes 2019. Milwaukee loses 2-0. They were up 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they lose the whole games. I want Milwaukee to make it to the finals that year, but Kawhi, man, he was amazing that year, and I think it was a big mistake for him to leave the Raptors, because I think he could have repeated a championship in the bubble. But man, that was great. That was a great year, man. 2019. 2019, the Blazers went to the Western Conference Finals. Nuggets blew a 17-point lead in Game 7, and I thought, oh, what? How did I not grab that? I thought that the Blazers. I thought the Nuggets were gonna make it to the Western Conference Finals because the Nuggets were number 2 in the West, and I was surprised by that because they didn't make the playoffs in 2018. I don't think. Oh, come on. But yeah, unfortunate. Blazers Western Conference Finals against the Warriors. Seth Curry versus Steph Curry. The Curry brothers against each other. Great. And Oh, oof. So, Golden State, they won game 1 fair and square. It was a blowout. But then the rest of the four, the Warriors ended up sweeping the Warriors. Though the Warriors ended up sweeping the Blazers, and it was a blowout. I mean, not a blowout. They were all close games, but like the Blazers, every time they play in the last 3 games, they had a 17-point lead, and they blew 3 straight 17-point leads each game. Each game they blew a 17-point lead, besides minus game 1. So the Blazers could have been up 3-1 had they not blown those leads, and they just were consistent with them. But but unfortunately they weren't, and yeah, they lost. And then it was Warriors in Cleveland yet again. Well, Warriors and Raptors actually, because LeBron left Cleveland that year. But yeah. Yeah, so that was basically, and then 2021. Let's get to that. Heat did not deserve to get into the playoffs because they got swept in the first round. I can just admit that as a Heat fan. You don't deserve to make the playoffs if you get swept in the first round, man. You don't. Alright, unless you fight really hard to get the 8th seed. Like if Miami had gotten the 8th seed in 2017. They had made the playoffs because they came back down 11-30. So I mean, I don't care if they got swept, but if you're a regular team that everyone expects you to make the playoffs, and I don't know, but I just don't feel like you deserve it. Like the Heat, I thought they were even fine in the playoffs, but they proved that they didn't get better because they refused to trade James Harden, Tyler Hero for James Harden. They didn't do anything. They didn't really show that they got better. But then, yeah, next year they proved that. And it was great. But yeah, 2021 injuries again. Injuries got in the way. Phoenix wouldn't have even made the finals had injuries not happened. The first round they play against the Lakers. Damn, he crossed me up. The first round he goes against the Lakers, and the Lakers are up 2-1, right? Anthony Davis then gets injured, and then Anthony Davis gets injured, and then the Lakers lose the next 3 games. And yeah, then the second round, Jamal Murray was injured, so they swept the Nuggets. And the third round, Clippers did not have Kawhi the entire series. I thought Kawhi was going to be out for at least 1 game, but nope, he was out for the rest of the series, and they lost in 6 games, the Clippers. So had Kawhi not been injured, they probably would have won, because they got that far without Kawhi. Game 6, I was like, damn. But they didn't win, and then the Phoenix Suns went to the finals. I thought they were going to win the finals. But Milwaukee had a healthy team, so but the Suns lost. Had they had won, I probably would have been like, okay, you finally played a healthy team. You deserve to win the finals. But nope. Oh! Okay. Oh! Yes! Yes! I took it all the way, man! Took it all the way, man. What'd you expect, bro? Yeah, Suns lost in the finals last year, and this season was supposed to be their redemption. They were at least to make the Western Conference Finals, but they didn't. And they actually lost terribly in the second round to the Mavericks in that Game 7, which was bogus. It's that was embarrassing. Because they probably could have made the finals had they had gone to the Western Conference Finals. They could have gone and forced a probably a good fight against the Warriors, caused problems for the Warriors, but they didn't, and they lost in the second round. Yeah, that's basically the finals. That's basically what I just want to talk about. It would have been funny to see Mavericks and Heat in the finals again. Just get a whole trilogy. But, you know, it didn't end up happening, and now I'm the only person on the team. So for now, I'm just going to be playing this game and just be talking while playing this game. It took me about 3 attempts. It's kind of like a SpongeBob video. Or, not the SpongeBob video. It took... oh, damn. Come on. I'm thinking of another video, I think. But... oh, get that block, bro. Come on. Come on. It's a 3v2. Oh. They didn't know which basket I was going to. Right, I'm gonna keep this team alive. There's no one on here. But who do I think is gonna win? I think the Celtics have a chance of winning this. And honestly, I'd be fine if they do. Even though they beat Miami, I'd be fine if they win this team. If they win, because they fought so hard to make it to where they're at. And, it's great. It is. It's been great. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Come on. Come on, pass. No, I could have had the final shot. 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh my god, this is insane. Oh, wait, it just went in, but it went out. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Long video, I know, but, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, I guess.